So in this video we're going to compare the custom TH model from Iwata with its bigger brother, the HP TH2. These are not just minor variations on one another. These airbrushes are quite different internally. So hopefully I can give you enough information for you to decide which of these is right for your needs.
Specs for the HP TH. So it has a 0.5mm nozzle, a MAC valve built into the body, and it has two heads, a fan pattern and a round pattern. So here's the full build for the HP TH, including the plastic handle and a water filter on the bottom. And here's a view of the head system. You can take the entire head system off if you want to clean it. And the round cap and fan cap. So on the TH2, the major difference is a 0.6mm nozzle and a much larger color cup that comes standard. Now, both of these airbrushes can use 3 different sizes of color cup, and you can actually upgrade the HP TH to a much larger nozzle size. So here in this video, I'm just showing you how I can take the stock color cup off and replace it with one of 2 additional sizes. So here's my favorite configuration of the TH2. Looking at the front end is definitely more beefy. The components are a lot larger, especially the nozzle. This is a single piece brass nozzle, and it exactly matches the Olympus nozzles from their line of airbrushes, making me think that it was actually licensed from them. The fan cap and the round cap are much larger on the TH2. Again, there's a very close match with Olympus's line. So here are the 2 models side by side. You can see the difference in the size of the head systems and the nozzles. There are some differences on the back of the gun. And of course the handles are completely different in terms of shape. So let's start with the HP TH and the round cap. Obviously, I'm not going to get a lot of detail out of this gun. What I am concerned with, however, is the line quality and the atomization. Next, I'm going to do a simple dot pattern to show you the sort of sizes I can get out of this gun. Note that I'm not actually used to using this as a detail gun, so I don't have great control over the trigger. Lastly, we'll take down the PSI, and we'll do some smaller lines. I think in this clip the PSI is probably around 20. Okay, let's switch to the fan cap now. It looks like there's a little bit of unevenness in my lines, so I might want to clean my gun. And now for some dots similar to the last exercise with the round cap. So we'll take down the PSI and see what we can do. At low air pressures, the gun seems to stipple pretty easily. This can be a great effect if you want it. Moving on, let's try out the TH2 and the round cap. For some reason, despite the bigger nozzle, I find the TH2 a little bit easier to control. I can get a little bit finer on the lines and my control over the trigger is a little bit better. So let's up it and see what we can do in terms of big lines. Again, let's do a series of dots. I can definitely tell that the 0.6mm nozzle is putting out a little bit more paint. Taking down the air pressure again. It's definitely a heavier airbrush than the TH. It's not so easy to do quick motions with it. Okay, let's try out the fan cap on the TH2. I can definitely put out some thick lines with this one. At lower PSIs, the stippling on the TH2 is incredible. You can get everything from very fine stippling to large drops. Here's a close-up of that stippling. So as I mentioned previously, you can convert the TH2 to a 0.8mm gun. At 0.8mm, you're obviously not going to get particularly fine lines. But oddly enough, the trigger and the action on the TH2 makes it fairly easy to be in control. I think there was a little something in my paint cup there. At any rate, what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for consistency of line and atomization quality. With the 0.8, I can also get some pretty thick lines. So let's look at it in terms of dots. Taking down the PSI, I noticed that the gun's not really designed for low pressure applications. So for reasons of brevity, I'm not going to show you the full fan pattern on the 0.8mm except for this photo. It's excellent, however. You can get some pretty wide spreads and the stippling's awesome. So which is the better airbrush? Well, it depends on what you want to do. Each has unique advantages and disadvantages. The TH is by far the more ergonomic model. It feels more comfortable in your hand due to the extended curve of the handle. It's easier to maneuver in space because it's lighter, and the head isn't as large, meaning it's easier to see where you're lining up on the paper. However, the TH2 has some distinct advantages as well. So the nozzle is absolutely bomb-proof. It's a huge piece of metal. You can't damage it easily, unlike the small little nozzle on the TH. You can take it out if you need to clean it or get debris out of it, and you can convert it to a 0.8mm. So both airbrushes allow you to use 3 color cups, large size, intermediate, and small. The TH comes with the small by default. The TH2 comes with the large. So if you want the intermediate size cup, which I think is the most versatile, you have to buy it separately. If I had to take one of these airbrushes to a desert island, I would definitely take the TH2 with a 0.6mm nozzle and the intermediate size color cup. I think that's the most versatile out of all of these combinations.